Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. In today's video, we're taking a look at the HA Bricks C41 PR15 passenger car kit. This is a 1:45 scale model designed by Hein Alkema. The finished model consists of 930 Lego and custom elements. It is 34 studs long, 8 studs wide, and comes with a number of printed parts. And, before we look at the model here, have to say that, I've built a number of HA Bricks kits in the past and been very impressed with the work that they've done. So I came into this particular build with high expectations, and I can safely say that this kit has exceeded all of my expectations, both in terms of the general presentation of all the different elements throughout the kit, the quality of the parts, and just the impressive build techniques that have been used throughout the build process. So, super excited about the finished model and this kit overall. Before we dive into looking at that finished model, just want to highlight a couple things. First off, really impressed with the box here that the kit comes in. Great colors I think that they've chosen here. I really like the black with the red highlights. Gives a very sophisticated look to the kit and really helps that photography of the finished model to pop on the box there. So really impressed with that. And, if we flip around to the back of the box, you'll see we've got an excellent wireframe view of the finished passenger car. Just an excellent way to, appreciate this model in a different perspective or a different view. And, just a nice touch here that just, completes the high quality nature of this box and just starts you on what ends up being a really impressive journey. Now, when you open up the box, the first thing you'll notice inside is that they have laid out all the parts for the builds into different numbered bags. This is not something that you see in, every custom Lego kit that you purchase, but this is something that HA Bricks has taken the time to do, and I can definitely safely say that it was an appreciated extra bit of time. Just makes the build that much more enjoyable when you don't have to search through, every piece that comes with the kit to find, what you're looking for. So I really appreciated that. And one other thing I want to show you briefly before we look at the finished build is the instruction manual. Really great printing here on the instruction manual. It's got a nice glossy finish to it. You can see it looks very much like the front of the box. Great image of the finished model, and just a really high quality instruction manual. If we flip open the front section here, before it even gets to the instructions for the model, we've got a little section here talking about the history of this particular train car, which I think is really interesting. I'm a big fan of learning more about the particular train cars that I'm building. Just gives me more insight into, ways that I might be able to display those models or other models that might work well with this particular model. So really like reading up on the history of these train cars. Plus, as somebody who really likes trains, it's just an interesting journey to read through little blurbs like this and learn more about railroad history in general. And then we've got a little section here that talks about the designer, Hein Alkema. So, a really impressive instruction manual. And, I have to say, overall, a fairly straightforward instruction manual to work through as part of the build process. It really helps that the parts, like I said, are split up into the numbered bags. It makes it easier to find the parts you're looking for. There were a few steps that were, took a few minutes to noodle through in terms of understanding exactly where all the parts were going in the order, because they put a large number of parts into one step that were going on to the model. Nothing that made the process, overtly difficult. But, when the more parts you have to put on in a particular step, it just increases the amount of care and thought that you have to put into, making sure you get everything correct. So that was my only little bit of, sort of feedback or things that I noticed from the build process. Overall, was very happy with the instructions. And now let's jump to looking at the finished build. Now, the first thing you'll probably notice looking at the finished build is just how well the photography on the front of the box matches up with what you get in the end, which is, really nice to see. I didn't expect it to be different from the photography necessarily, but it's a nice sort of affirmation that it looks, just like what you see on the box there. The first thing that really jumps out at me when looking at the finished build is all of the excellent printed bricks down the side of the car. We've got everything here from, the window outlines being printed to the, we've got a little bits of advertising. We've got the route information there. We've got lots of, sort of text both on the side here and along the bottom, which, is authentic and you would expect to see on a railroad car like this. Really nicely done. Awesome to see all of those bits and pieces. And, like I said, the printing on these bricks is really well done. Definitely adds a high level of quality to the finished model. Obviously, these things could be done with, decals generally, but, when it's printed, you've got, better sort of orientation and lining up of the patterns. You've got, I'm really impressed with some of the coloring that they've managed to achieve here and the crispness of the text. And, it's just nice to have all of that, in a way that comes with the kit. There's nothing I have to fiddle with in terms of getting all of these things onto the model and lined up appropriately. So really happy with their choice to go with printed bricks here, and really happy with the outcome of that process and just how crisp and amazing it looks. It really does add a lot to the finished build, and just a level of authenticity and realism that I think is really nice to have, and that you definitely notice when looking at this model both up close and from a distance. Now, other things that I really appreciate about this build, I like the interesting roof line here. I think that's a nice touch, and is one of the reasons why I enjoy getting train car and locomotive builds from around the world. I really want to have a diverse set of railroad cars in general across our collection, and be able to appreciate both the similarities and the differences that you get in railroad technology, I guess, and general looks as you go around the world. So, I think that while this roof is a very distinct element on its own and will be very eye-catching, I also really appreciate it from the the perspective of how a German passenger car like this has a very different look to what you might see on some North American passenger cars. Other details that I really appreciate, all of the texture and little details on the back of the, or I guess the end of the passenger car here. You'll notice that we've got magnetic couplers, which seem to work quite well, and lots of great detailing work all the way up the side here. Those details carry along on the bottom of the train as well. We've got the, oh, what happened there? There we go, that's better. We've got, a nice little step up area here for passengers entering the car. Lots of great details along the bottom of the car and the wheel area there. Let's see if I can get you a better picture of that in a moment. But, just a lot of great textural details that extend sort of from the underside of the car all the way up to the top of the car, and these great little pointy details across the top of the car. Now, taking a closer look at those wheel sets, you can see the great little textural details along the side there. Lots of, little bars with extra parts on there, minifigure arms and other parts to get all those details around the wheels. The wheels are ball bearing wheels, so they should run really smoothly around our layout. So happy about that. And, when I build the corresponding locomotive that pulls this particular passenger car, it'll be interesting to see just how well it moves and ultimately how many cars it can pull. Because, with those ball bearing wheels, we should be able to get or we should be minimizing the friction there and, increasing the number of cars that locomotive can pull, which should be nice. And another view of the underside of the train here, some more details in the middle of the car there on the underside. And, just overall, really appreciate that attention to detail. I think it's, that's a part of the train that people who view this running around a layout, at a train show aren't going to be able to appreciate or understand that they're there. But, the owners of these builds and people who see it up close will take note of those details. And, just really, really impressive that Hein went to the effort of adding all of that detail underneath the train car. So really happy to see that there, and something that I will notice and appreciate on a regular basis. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, definitely a lot of interesting build techniques throughout the model. There's some really interesting things that Hein has done here, especially in the area, sort of this bottom third to half of the model and how it connects to this window section that's above it, and how that window section is mounted to the train car in general. Just some really ingenious techniques and ways of making connections in there that I thought was really ingenious for this particular model, but has opened my eyes to some different ideas and ways to build, not only when it comes to a train car like this, but to for general Lego building. So I really appreciate that. And I think that's one of the interesting things that you get when you build models like this from other people in the hobby. Everybody's got sort of a different mindset and different ways they go about solving problems. And it's really interesting to see that. And, frequently you learn things that you can apply to your own process. and your own models that you're working on. So, definitely really happy with what I learned from building this model, and top marks for Hen for how he went about accomplishing the overall geometry of this particular train car. So in the end, super happy with the HA Bricks C41 PR15 passenger car. An excellent box and sort of organization system for the parts inside the box. Excellent instructions, amazing printed parts. And, we've ended up here with a finished model that is going to be an excellent addition, not only to our Lego train collection, but also, will be an excellent addition to the trains running around our layout. This particular model, I've got two other kits from this particular line. We've got a baggage car and a locomotive that we will be building and talking about on the channel soon. So keep an eye out for those videos. And then once the locomotive and baggage car are done, we will put these train cars through their paces on our Lego layout here in the basement. So keep an eye out for all of those videos. If you have not visited the HA Bricks website, highly recommend that you check them out. They've got, amazing train car kits that they put out on a semi-regular basis. So definitely worth keeping an eye out there and picking up one of their kits if you haven't already. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.